Welcome back to the channel. Let's not waste any time, let's dive right into it. Have you ever felt like you have no voice in church? Like your questions don't get answered? Or worse, like you're just another face in the crowd while a select few control every aspect of what happens? Doesn't it feel off when the teachings of Jesus, like when he said, "Whoever would be great among you must be your servant," Matthew 20 verses 25 to 28, ESV, don't match what you see every Sunday? Why are you required to audition to join the praise team? Why can only those who have been ordained preach? How did we get here? The problem didn't start overnight. It traces back centuries, even to the early church. One of the earliest clues comes from Clement of Rome, who wrote his first epistle to the Corinthians. In this letter, Clement defended the presbyters, the elders, and nearly condemned those who challenged church leadership, comparing them to the rebellion of Korah against Moses, Numbers 16. Clement writes, "Let us reverence the Lord Jesus Christ, whose blood was given for us. Let us esteem those who have the rule over us. Let us honor the presbyters who have gone before us. Let us instruct the young men in the fear of God." 1 Clement 21:6. This marked a turning point. Questioning leadership was now seen as rebelling against God himself. You can read more about this, link in the description. But that was just the beginning. According to Dr. Tom Wadsworth, another shift happened with the evolution of the Eucharist ritual. When early Christian leaders began to see the Eucharist as the literal body and blood of Christ, it became a sacred sacrifice rather than a symbolic act. Since the elements became sacred, the table on which they were placed was also deemed holy. Eventually, the entire building was seen as a sacred space. Those administering the Eucharist transformed into priests, given special authority, just like the priests in the Old Testament. You can watch Dr. Wadsworth's presentation and find his research, link in the description. However, this idea completely contradicts the core message of Hebrews regarding Christ's ultimate sacrifice. In Hebrews 9 verse 12, ESV, it states, "He entered once for all into the holy places, not by means of the blood of goats and calves but by means of his own blood, thus securing an eternal redemption." Further emphasizing this, Hebrews 10 verse 12, ESV, says, "But when Christ had offered for all time a single sacrifice for sins, he sat down at the right hand of God." The concept that the Eucharist could be a repeated sacrifice is fundamentally at odds with the teaching that Christ's sacrifice was once and for all. This also contradicts the teachings of Paul and Peter, who emphasize that all believers are called to be a royal priesthood. In 1 Peter 2 verse 9, ESV, Peter says, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." And Stephen the martyr declared, "Yet the Most High does not dwell in houses made by hands." Acts 7 verses 48 to 50, ESV. So, why did the church take this path? Over time, the priesthood gained control over every aspect of church life. Even now, in modern Protestant denominations, pastors often act as head priests, controlling who can participate and who cannot. I've even seen churches where only those with official approval can pray for others. I get it, we need to protect the church from false teachings. But did we forget that the original model was small, home-based gatherings where everyone contributed? 1 Corinthians 14 verse 26, ESV, describes it clearly. "When you come together, each one has a hymn, a lesson, a revelation, a tongue, or an interpretation. Let all things be done for building up." Churches have grown so big that it's almost impossible to function that way now. Instead of fixing the problem, many leaders suppress the voices of everyone else to maintain control. And the word pastor? It appears only once in most English translations, Ephesians 4 verse 11, ESV, where it's listed alongside other roles without any clear description of its function. Somehow, we've let this one title become synonymous with ultimate authority. What started as a simple gathering of believers has turned into a one-man show, where the pastor's word goes unquestioned, and those who challenge it are silenced, or even excommunicated. It doesn't have to be this way. We need to reclaim the simple church setting, small gatherings where people can sing together, pray together, ask questions, and discuss real issues. An overseer should be a facilitator, not a ruler, someone who organizes discussions and keeps them respectful, not someone who holds absolute power. But what if I told you that the way most churches practice the Lord's Supper today actually fuels this power imbalance? What if the very act that was meant to unite believers has been twisted into something else entirely? That's what we'll tackle in the next video. Get ready, it's going to challenge everything you thought you knew. If you're ready to confront the uncomfortable truths and dive deeper, take the red pill and subscribe. I promise I'll keep digging into the tough questions, and all I'm offering is the truth. Stay tuned.